guys, didn't see you there. DeHoffrin back on the Blood Oyster Cult channel. You caught me in the middle of reading one of my favorite books. What book is that, you say? Well, it's the Book of the Bards. It's something I made for one of my campaigns and I love. I also made one for clerics. As you can see, the symbol of Palor. These are some fun things that I did, and today I'm going to show you how I made them. You see on the internet now, there are a bunch of D&D books, journals for campaigns. They look awesome, they are great, but, you know, don't always have that kind of money to throw at them. So what I did was, for specific campaigns, I made my own books. This one is Paladins for Palor, and inside of it, I just start with the Paladin worshippers. You know, I did descriptions of what a paladin is, what their aspects, relationships. Then I also cheated, and the information from the books I go ahead and print in there, so I'm not always going through the book every session trying to remember what it is that I have to do, which works great for new characters that you build that you haven't played before. You just have a cheat sheet inside of a book. I did the same thing with bards. Bards information, class features, the basic stuff that I get for being a bard. The bardic colleges, instead of putting every information in there, I did pick and choose pre-hand where I was going to go with the character, and that's specifically what I added in it. With the Bard book, though, I also added in a bunch of songs for different spells. So if I thought a spell was to boost my fighter's strength, hit me with your best shot. UGLY, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly. Cutting words, stuff like that. And then after you put all that in there, it works as a great journal to keep track of what you're doing each session, something to go back through, and it's more of a personalized story for your character. These, again, are the two first examples of what I did.
Few moments later.
Alright, so let's get started today on making yourself a journal. I'm going to be doing it a little bit different this time than what I've done normally. I'm using a binder instead of a book because I've got a bunch of one-shots, modules that I'm going to be printing out and organizing just a little bit easier in a binder than in a book, but for the most part, same idea. I try to get as long as pieces as possible to work with, because once you start doing pieces of small strips, the more places it's going to start unfolding, and you're going to have to keep going back over, and it'll drive you crazy like it drives me crazy. Let's start with this too big of a piece. All we're doing, getting it in your liquid. Do the same idea, submerging it inside of what in the bowl. Get it nice and covered, ooey gooey. Fun mess, you guys. Squeeze out the excess. Unfold it carefully, because now we don't want it to rip. Missed some sides, so we unfold it, refold it. Let's get this back side. All right. Easy peasy, simple. Unfold it. And we're just going to wrap your book or binder in this stuff. Now, a little bit easier with the binder because I don't have to worry about getting it on the pages and the pages getting stuck together. That is definitely something that I worry about whenever I am doing it with an actual book. I've had to peel apart many pages when dealing with it. So just make sure you're watching out for that. You want to go with your hand and make sure you flatten it out and just fold back over. Flatten it out. You want to attempt to close the book because as it dries you want it closed because that's where you need the most slack. And again, go over the outsides. Flatten out where you need to because it does need to stick to your book and or binder in order for this to work. I, being a little bit of a stickler for detail, I always go back and get some extra pieces because I want my whole binder to look like it is covered in leather. You can already see I'm having to go back over places. Make sure it's sticking. Right, that piece is going to be perfect. Love that sound. I personally don't like it overlapping on the front side. I'd rather have it a little bit less perfect on the inside. So that's what I'm measuring out here, eyeballing it out. All right. That was the first wrap around. Now, as you noticed with the other ones, I do add a little bit of flair. It's not just a leather book. I found at the dollar stores this cool eye. So I'm going to make this part of the book. A little bit of glue on there. Right in the middle. To make it look like it's part of the book and not just sitting on top, what I am attempting to do is make eyelids. And now I'm just going to try to go over the side. Not too happy about that. Let's try and make it a little bit more rounded. Much better. So this is what you got to start with. Once you've got it flat as you can get it, Smooth out all the rough edges that you needed. You've got this. Now I'm going to go, and before I let it dry, I'm going to try to wipe off some of the glue off of the eyeball. But this is pretty much what you've got, and now you let it dry. Alright, now that it is dry, we're going to take a look at it, and for the most part it's worked, but you see there's some spots that split open due to drying. But overall, it's pretty awesome so far. So if you like that look, you're done. Or you could add more to it. The only thing I would do is now I would go over with some glue and a paintbrush and just push the sides back down, glue it, let that dry. And then the next step after that is going to be painting. For painting, I like to do two tones. I start with a base color, and then I'm going to go back in with a top color. I chose purple for my base, and I'm going to go with pink neon. We'll see how it looks for my top coat. And I can't wait to get started on this. Base coat, just pour it on. Grab your brush, obviously, and just spread it out. So I'm going to do this. Not going to bore you with sitting here watching me paint a whole book or binder. But after I get done with this piece, we'll go back and talk about the next step. Alright, so once you've got done with the base color and it comes out the way you like it, I really like the way this purple came out, very shiny and metallic-y. You get your second color. I am going to do, like I said, pink, but I want to make it extra. So I'm going to add some glow in the dark to hopefully make it glow in the dark. And glitter. Just combining it all in my palette. Mix it all up together. Now what I did was I got a sponge, cut it out, shaped it a little bit, and hopefully this is going to make it look a little bit more like scales when I go through. So you dab it in, dab off a little bit of the excess, and just and repeat. Trying to be careful not to get too close to things. And there you go. I think that looks really cool. Gives it a little couple different dimensions to it. You can dress them up however you want. Going back over one color and dry brushing works well to give the cracks and crinkles a little bit more definition as well, is another way to go about it. But I think that looks very awesome. Can't wait to start filling it up with all the information I need. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I would love to see your versions of a D&D journal. Until next time, bye.